Hello everybody and welcome to this playthrough for Master Division with the tournament win for the Easter Classic tournament here in Golf Clash the game. Video sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. And before we take a look at the videos, make sure that you do hit the thumbs up button, also subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. And go and get the ultimate tournament guides for Master Division, which already a lot of player has done by going to patreon.com/golfclashtommy, link directly in the description down below. You can follow the info box on the right hand side to get the club distance adjustment, elevation adjustment, also what ball and club type I do suggest you to play with. Have in mind those are all suggestions and there is obviously always a plan behind it. So let's go to hole number 1. Hole number 1. Here I'm going to play with a power 2 ball wind 5, and I'm gonna use 8 bars of top spin, 2 bars of side spin to the right. And here you can see here that I first start with the blue ring by the rough line, but I'm gonna change that and we're gonna play half of the white ring into the rough on the right with Apocalypse level 7 and level 8. Adjustment is gonna be maximum distance plus 10, but that will be with power 3 ball settings. We adjust and you can notice that we are into overpower, and then we're going to apply full curl to the right and max overpower. Straight to the left, and we'll see the ball bounce on the fairway over the bunker and then roll to around 400 yards. That is what we are looking for. Those of you that are playing with a power, with Apocalypse level 5, level 6, I would recommend to play with a power 3 ball like a Ninja ball, for an example. That would be the best way to go with. Otherwise, we stay with the Aurora ball or Aurora type of ball. Second shot, now we're gonna play for a pin check. You can see here that we're using the bottom of the yellow ring as a pin check, and that is equal +1. Then we're gonna have our first bounce on the fringe. So I'm gonna use backspin, which is 0.8 bars of backspin in this example, with half of the blue ring outside the fringe with ball guideline to the hole. +1 is with the Falcon level 8, 44% slider. I'm not using 44% slider in this shot here, and I do use more, but the thing is though, look at my position in the ring here. I do have a baby curl to the right there, and that curl will obviously push my ball to the right. So in that case we need a less adjust than what I did in the video. And so my estimation here is 44% slider from a +1 pin check. If you're not in pin check range, then obviously you're going to have to estimate based on that reference shown. Use the Falcon if possible. If you don't have the Falcon level 7, level 8, use the Hornet or the Thorn, as it has a good ball guideline, which Falcon level 6 does not have. Hole number 2, and we're gonna play with 2 bars of left spin, and we're gonna use the bottom of the red ring by the rough line. Ball guideline now, we're gonna look for the second and the third bounce. If you look closely on the second bounce, and that second bounce is going to be just at the right side or the right edge of the dark green square row, with the third bounce to be by the left edge of the dark green square row on the other side. Pause it, rewind it if you did feel that that was a problem to follow. Medium distance +40% elevation, power 2 ball settings. And then we're not gonna go any overpower or curl, obviously. We're gonna try to hit perfect. Perfect ball. Bounces nicely on the fairway, up on the green, and it turns around like this in a lovely way, and we get that ball to just fall into the hole for a lovely hole-in-one. This is actually the par 3 that I've been having the highest drop rate so far in the qualifying round, which surprises me a little bit though, as I do not really enjoy this hole at all otherwise. But medium distance +40, power 2 ball numbers, and you play with a side spin 2 ball. You can play with a power 1 side spin 2 ball if you want to, or if you are low on the power 2 side spin 2 ball. Sniper is the club, good chance on hole 2. For hole number 3, we do have headwind. This is yuck. I don't like this at all. And we're going to start at the plus 1 yard mark. I'm using 6.8 bars of topspin and 2 bars of side spin to the right. And with Apocalypse level 5, level 6, we do play with the white ring halfway into the rough on the right. If you do play with Apocalypse level 7, level 8, you have the white ring to the right flushed by the rough line to the right instead. Maximum distance plus 10, power 4 ball settings as we do play with a power 4 ball. And then we go with a tiny bit of curl to the right, and I also apply in this case 1 ring of overpower. I would recommend to do like this when it comes to the overpower to prevent you from falling down from the fairway into the bunker. So the thing that I would do here is that I would be using just a tiny click of overpower in wind that is 10 miles per hour or more. With lower wind, I wouldn't go with any overpower at all. So the overpower here on this video, even though we have a 10 mile per hour wind, is too much in my opinion. So we should just go with the ball down to overpower until the needle starts to shake. If you do use too much and you get that glitch roll, which is unfortunately something we cannot control, then that could cause the ball to roll down into the bunker, and then it's close to be game over to get to the green into. Second shot, I play now over the rough here. I'm pushing this shot hard. You can obviously back up and play on the fairway before the rough and bounce it up towards the pin. And the thing is though, regardless in what way you're going to decide to play, you're going to have to play it for an eagle. I'm not playing this one for an albatross, and if I would happen to drop it, I can assure you that replicate that one, it's gonna be insanely tough. I play maximum distance plus 45% elevation on this one going over the rough. And you can see here that we go 2 rings into overpower. And when you do go into overpower, it is recommended to use 1 ring more than what you adjust into. So if you adjust 2 rings into overpower, you go with 3 rings of overpower to make sure that you do get over the rough and don't go short. Obviously, we're miles away, as you can see, but we are on the green for a simple putt for an eagle on a very tough hole. What I would like to say in the end here on hole number 3, choose a ball that you are able to spend. Like, sure, I used the magic 8 ball here because I felt like using 3 side spin would be beneficial for the second shot, but I'm not so sure about that. So win 4 side spin 2 or even win 4 side spin 1 would be a possibility. You can probably play with a P3 side spin 3 win 4 ball as well. It's just that obviously the drive then is going to be something that you need to be very focused on so you do get the distance that you want to. But tough one on hole number 3 with that headwind. Hole number 4, we're going to first start with a basic ball actually and go with 4.5 bar of a backspin. And once that is done, we shall change to a power 2 ball. Doesn't matter what side spin you have, so it's just a power 2 ball to find absolute minimum distance with the ball guideline going through the hole. Now we are going to go with a minimum distance with a 10% over adjustment power 2 ball settings. So we do adjust. And then we're going to take our shot. Very important as always to be centered into the adjustment ring so we don't get any accidental curl, overpower or underpower. Bounces nicely on the fairway. We love how it zooms in like this, then we know it's going to be close and right at hole for a beautiful hole-in-one here on hole number 4. Good chance, and obviously playing from absolute minimum distance is going to be very helpful when trying to dial this one in. Hole number 5, I'm going to play with my Thor's hammer. Can you play this one with Apocalypse as well? Yes, you can. But here we're gonna play max top spin, 1 bar of left spin. We start at complete maximum distance of our club. And ball guideline to be just centered down the fairway. I'm using a 4th anniversary ball, but as already talked about the ball options on hole number 3, I would say that here you don't need to play with a win 5 power 4 ball and side spin 1. You can actually play with a win 4 and power 4 ball instead if you want to. That's up to you, but I do have the possibility and that's why I play with this type of ball. Overpower. When you do go into overpower, I would recommend to go with Thor's Hammer level 7, we go with 1 ring of overpower. When it comes to Thor's Hammer level 8, we go with half a ring of overpower. Thor's Hammer level 6, 2 rings of overpower due to the less amount of topspin on the Thor's Hammer level 6. So now we are into a position that we do like, and now we're gonna play with our sniper. Now we're gonna go to make a pin check here, and the thing with the pin check here, just to have that said, the pin check is +4. The replay does not show that, but the pin check is +4 with the sniper. 2 bars of topspin, 0.2 bars of side spin to the right, and you can see here now that I'm using a smidge of the yellow ring into the bunker at the bottom with the ball guideline go through the hole. You can also see that the top of the red ring is by the edge of the rough line. Now look at my pull angle. I do have a pretty strong 1159 for this shot here. Minus 20% elevation, and from +4 we do play 26% slider, power 4 ball settings. Perfect ball for once with a sniper, and it bounced nicely into the rough, up on the fringe, and roll right at pin for a beautiful eagle on a tough par 4. This is, no matter what type of wind we're gonna have on this one, this is gonna be a tough drop, so I'm very pleased by getting this one. And once again, the 4th anniversary ball is very special. There's only that ball with that type of stat in the game, so again, you know, use a win 4 power 4 side spin 1 ball if you do have if you do not have the possibility to play with a 4th anniversary ball. For the second par 5, we're gonna have a headwind once again, and we'll go max topspin and 1 bar of side spin to the right, starting at the +9 yard mark, with half of the green ring, or the inner ring, to be, sorry, the transparent ring to be into the rough, and that is with a POC 7 and a POC 8. When it comes to a POC 5 and a POC 6, we go in that case with the blue ring to the left by the rough to the left, still starting at +9 yard mark. Adjust max +10, then we're gonna go full blast overpower, and now very important to focus. You do want to hit perfect, obviously, but with a minor great left or a minor great right, you should still be safe. A double great left or a double great right will unfortunately have the risk of getting stuck into the rough, and that's going to be a problem. You could be lucky and bounce into the rough and roll out, obviously, but in the best of the worlds, we do get to 390 yards. It's what we are looking for. Now, okay, so if we do have this type of drive that we have, then we can play aggressive. We can play super safe as well if we want to, and we're gonna talk about that after this shot. But first we do start with a rough bump, and now I'm gonna do a pin shake. And for now it's a replay again, and it's just weird. But for the example's sake here, we're gonna play a pin shake that is +12. 2.5 bar backspin, we have 1 bar of left spin. You can see that I'm aiming approximately half a green square right of pin, with the inner ring to be just outside the rough line. 30% elevation is what we're looking for, together with an 1159 pull here for this shot. So we do adjust based on the +12 pin shake. We're going to, in that case, go with 84% slider, and once again 30% elevation. You can see here that I'm adding a little bit of overpower there in the end. It is unfortunately a little bit too much. We just need to barely just overlap the bottom arrows there, because if you use too much, then you're gonna, you know, go too far, and that's gonna be a problem. But in the end though, we are getting the ball to be very close. This would obviously be a massive bonus if you drop this one, but reduce the overpower just slightly, and then maybe we could actually consider reducing the backspin to like 2.3 instead of a 2.5 instead. If you fall short with your drive, you should in that case just play safe, and we're gonna take a look at this one as well. Here I'm not gonna play 30% elevation. We are going to play 20% elevation, which is important to have said. So we're gonna change that here into the info box to be 20 instead of the 30%. So it's still gonna be the same drive, that's not gonna change. But if we do clip the rough, or we do play with a POC 5 or a POC 6 where we might fall short some of the times, then we're gonna have to just play, you know, you can play here to just land this one nicely on green and just play it super duper safe. But if you do want to have a chance, you bounce on the fairway into the rough and roll out towards the pin. I wanted to display and show this shot at least, so you do feel that there is it's not the end of the world if you do go short. It's just that the rough bump is going to be out of play. I'm using a little bit of left curl here to push this ball to go towards the pin, but obviously a great left in that case would most likely be ending up into the bunker. So we bounce into rough, roll out, we are nowhere near to get that ball to the hole. So looking at this now and also been thinking about it, I do think that if we do fall short with our drive, just play it as safe as possible to lock in the eagle, because it's not worth trying to do a Hail Mary when it comes to be the qualifying round of the tournament. It would be different if it would be the weekend round or the opening round, where we might just already have won a prize chest and we might want to take a little bit higher risk. So again, you know, two options for you, where the rough bump obviously is a chance if you do get the drive into a decent distance. For hole number 7, the final of the par 3s, we are going to play with the hammerhead. It's not often that we do play with the hammerhead as a club, so this is a very interesting thing to do. So in this case, I'm going 2.5 bar backspin, 1 bar side spin to the right. It's preferably to go with a 3-point ball, for an example, which only has 1 bar side spin, and that helps a lot. Adjustment is going to be max plus 10 power 1 ball settings here. Is what we're gonna go with. So, and that is what we're gonna adjust as well. And once adjusted there, we will in that case go with no curl, no overpower, no underpower obviously, and trying to hit perfect. So we do clip the rough, lovely, and you can see here that the ball rolls right at pin for a beautiful hole-in-one on hole number 7. This one is a tough one, and I understand that it might feel extremely risky going for that rough bump, but unfortunately there isn't really any other good ways of playing this hole in my opinion. So this is the way that we're gonna play. Make sure that you're not having a bad 11.59 or bad 12.01, because that would most definitely risk you missing the rough. Hole number 8, and we're going to play with a 3-point ball stat. So we're gonna have the ninja ball here, as that's the only one that I do have on this account. So we go 6.5 bar top spin, 1 bar side spin to the right, and the thing that I'm look at here is to start just before the plus 9 yard mark with the ball guideline pointing towards the shadow by the top bunker. Adjustment maximum distance plus 10. Make sure that you do have no 12.01 for this pull, because if you do that, you risk going too far and going to the rough. Ball, you can see here, is just in the just into the right of the ring there. I would, however, though, want to go a little bit more in curl to have the ring just to crack, so we do make sure that we do get to the same distance towards the pin for the second shot all the time. 380 yards, but it doesn't really matter because we're gonna do a pin check here. So you move your bullseye up towards the pin. You can see here that is plus 4. And now we're going to play with 1 bar of backspin, 0.8 bars of side spin to the right. I start off with 1 bar of backspin, but I do not like that little glitchy spot there. I rather want to have that little firm spot that we do have a little bit more right there. That's why I do change to the 0.8, and I've kept the 0.8 on the other accounts that I've been playing. So 1 backspin, 0.8, ball guideline through the hole. With the Falcon level 6, we do have the end level 7. We do have the top of the yellow ring to be just by the edge of the rough line there. Falcon level 8, we're going to have a small gap there by the yellow ring to have the correct position. No elevation, but we're using the pin check obviously. Plus 4 equals 89% slider with Falcon 6 and Falcon 7. And then with Falcon 8, we go 86% slider instead. Very nice one. This is a good chance, I would say, together with hole number 1, is the best chance that we do have for drops, in my opinion. Hole number 9 is extremely difficult because of the headwind, so now we're going to try to play with the driver that gives us the most power and topspin together. For me, that is the Thor Samma level 8. Max topspin and 0.2 bars of side spin to the right is what I'm doing here. Now I'm stretching out to find, or like I did stretch out to find the left side of the blue ring to be just by the line between the darker and the brighter rough out to the right. And from there, I'm gonna do a reverse power hook, which is to go 1.2 ball of curl to the right, and then just hit where it becomes a hook. So it's going to be an easy shot per se, but now in the end we do want to get the distance. We need to get the distance here to be above 300 and 390 plus, otherwise we're going to have a problem. I would say like this: if you do not have a 390 plus drive, be prepared to just lay up. But if you do have the drive that gives you the distance enough, then we're going to try to go to green. Max top spin and 1 bar side spin to the right. I'm not using the full max top spin, but I would recommend you to do so because we need it all. Aiming for the right side of the fairway, mostly looking at the ball guideline, as you can see here. Adjustment max no elevation for this shot. And you will notice that we are obviously going to go into overpower here when we adjust. And then we're gonna go full overpower. It doesn't matter if you go one ring into overpower, you shall go full overpower here in the end. I would recommend though to go with a little bit of curl, maybe to prevent us from having, to have a great left to get stuck into the rough. A little great right here, bouncing on the fairway, and it rolls down. And from here, we're going to have a wedge with a straight headwind, which is something that we should be managing to get pretty easily, especially if you have taken a stab at master. But what happens once again if you do have a shot? What happens if you do have the knee, or that you get the knee to lay up here? And that's is something that we are going to look at now. And the thing with that is I'm going to change a little bit into the info box. The second shot is going to be played max plus 0, still the same. So we're going to take a look at that one first and foremost. So we do have that and that. So you can see here now we didn't get the distance enough, and now it would just be stupid to try to attempt to go over on the left. So the thing that I will do here is that I will be going 3.8 bars of backspin. My only focus here now is the ball guideline to be somewhat centered onto the fairway. The higher up we're getting on this fairway here, the better it's going to be for us for the second shot, but it's not really the end of the world if we do fall a little short. The only thing that we should prevent us from doing is to get that ball into the rough, because then I would say the eagle is somewhat game over. The plan when we do lay up on the right side is that we will be using a long iron for a rough bump chance to save the eagle. So when it comes to the drive, you need to be lucky. You need to get the distance enough and then obviously make a good second shot. But again, especially with lower level type of clubs, you will be having a problem here, and then this layup option is actually kind of good. So now we're gonna change the club first and foremost, and we're gonna do that, and you're gonna add the B52. I'm gonna change the elevation as well, and the elevation is not gonna be 0, it's gonna be 25 is what we're gonna do. So we have 25 there, and we are going to change from max, and we're gonna just put mid, because now we're going to play with a your turn method. What that means is pack the thorn in your bag, so when it's your turn you shall look directly what the plus yardage is on your thorn to then determine a slider percentage for the second shot with your B52. So we're gonna take a look at that obviously as well. A lot of things here for hole number 9, but trying to give you the best possibility. You see, plus 9 is when I start. Plus 9 according to the table gives us 22% slider, 25% elevation with the B52. 1.5 bar backspin, make sure that the ball guideline goes through the hole. You see here that I do have half of the red ring outside the rough, and once again ball guideline go through the hole, and then we will adjust 22% slider, 25% elevation. It's going to be a lot of rings here, so I would recommend to do 2 pulls. I'm doing 6 and 6, so I do adjust a total of 12 rings for this shot. And then we're going to obviously try to hit perfect, which we do. Perfect ball. And now we see it bounce into the rough and rolls down towards pin. So we do have the possibility then to do the eagle this way. But at the same time, you know, if we have the possibility to reach over on the left, we shall try to do that, but it all depends on the drive. And I do not like when it is that much lottery involved. So, again, you know, you have 2 options here. You can obviously decide to not play the left side route every single time, even if you have the clubs, but tough hole on hole 9. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching this playthrough for Master Division with the qualifying round win here for the Easter Classic Tournament. Video sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. Make sure to get the ultimate tournament guides for Master Division or any other division in the game by going to patreon.com/golfclashtommy, link directly in the description down below. Once again, thank you for watching and good luck in your Golf Clash game.